is 5 things that he wants to throw the remote at the TV over. J-Mac, take it away.
Yes, there's so many news stories and headlines throughout the course of the offseason. Some of them become played out. Some of them just don't make sense. Right now, Giants come out, Dexter Lawrence requests a trade. We all want to talk about landing spots for Dexter Lawrence. Where is he going to be? See, the one thing about Dexter Lawrence, nicknamed Sexy Dexy, when you make a sack or you make a play and you're going there and you're moving the hips and you're getting all into it, that is meant to be in New York City. It's like a Broadway play, a nose tackle getting pressure on the quarterback, but also taking on double teams to stop the run. John Harbaugh coming in as a head coach, you don't want to get rid of that guy. Dexter Lawrence does not leave the New York Giants. All right, on to that. Shregs, you can relate.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, where is he going? Is he coming back to Pittsburgh? Can we stop talking about it? Let the man make his decision. He's talking to Mike McCarthy. They're having conversations. Newsflash, he's coming back.
That's it.
Just wait for it to happen, whether it's now, off-season workouts, whether it's right before training camp. Aaron Rodgers will be QB1 week 1. We don't have to keep talking about it. Let's continue to move on. Lamar Jackson made storylines, history on Monday. He showed up to voluntary workouts that are optional, that are not required, that were collectively bargained for players to be able to have a choice where they want to work out. So can we stop talking about whether Lamar Jackson, whether Myles Garrett, or anybody else is showing up to voluntary off-season workouts? All right, the next one is brought to you from my 10-year-old son. Every time he comes home from school right now, he comes home, he's like, Daddy, 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 where's A.J. Brown getting traded to? Is Max Crosby still on the Las Vegas Raiders? Yeah, son, they're still on the teams. They haven't been traded. I know you were watching sports TV all night long. You couldn't go to sleep. And all they kept talking about is where these guys are going to be traded. For right now, they are on the respective teams. And if a trade happens, we'll chime in. Just go to X. It'll be right there. Schefter will be telling you all about how it went down. All right, the last one and the best one. I don't know if you guys have heard, but the Eagles, they didn't win in the playoffs last year. They're probably never going to be good again. And the reason is Jalen Hurts stinks. We're now blaming Jalen Hurts for why the Eagles can't get back to the Super Bowl. Oh, yeah, the quarterback that is a Super Bowl MVP, that performed really well the first time he went to the Super Bowl, was a runner-up for the MVP that same season. He now is the source of all the problems that are going on in Philly. I've been home for like a week. I haven't been on TV, and I've sat there. I'm just walking up with my remote, and my wife looked at me, and I was just like, turn this thing off, and I'm slamming it against the TV screen. These are the things that just make me want.
You know you just effectively ruined every A block we have planned for the next several months. What are you doing, J-Mac? These are things we have to talk about.
They don't have me on the show, those A blocks, so it doesn't matter.
Fair enough.
I'll be watching.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
Let's bring in Ben Solak and Kevin Clark. Kevin, I know you are a TV enthusiast. Your thoughts on this list and what really upsets Jason McCourty?
The Rodgers thing in particular. They hired Mike McCarthy. What move do you think? They backed themselves into a corner. There's no other quarterback available. They're not going to draft Ty Simpson. So, yeah, we can stop talking about Aaron Rodgers. Will he, won't he? He's going to be back. And then I totally agree with you on Jalen Hurts. This idea that somehow he's not, okay, fine. He's not Burrow, Mahomes, Josh Allen. That's fine. That doesn't mean he's 30th, 31st. Doesn't mean he's Nathan Peterman, Kenny Pickett. No, he's a quarterback who can win a Super Bowl. There's not many of those.
Sorry about that, Nathan. He's somewhere.
Nathan Peterman's at home. Like, what did I do? You've done a lot of work on the Philly side of the ball, and of course on this offense. The Jalen Hurts of it all. We know Mannion's coming in. Like, what do you make of it, man?
Yeah, I'll stand here alone on this side where I buy a lot of the Jalen Hurts narrative. I really do. Because over 4 different offensive coordinators, we've seen the exact same offense with the exact same issues. It's because of the quarterback. He doesn't throw to the middle of the field. They got to be able to be in the gun to involve him in the quarterback running game. But he didn't even really run the football last year, and not so effectively even when he tucked the football. And so, to me, we're seeing that defenses know what Jalen can and can't do. They know how they want to play Philadelphia. And now as the offensive line deteriorates, potentially A.J. Brown gets out of there, the quarterback needs to hold on to more. So for me, this is a season where I need to see elevation from Jalen Hurts. I need to see him do something in the offense under Sean Mannion that he hasn't done previously. Otherwise, defenses will keep playing the Eagles the same way. The rest of the roster will deteriorate, and it's going to be harder to build those Super Bowl champions in Philadelphia.
J-Mac, what can he do to shut us all up and have us stop talking and critiquing Jalen Hurts?
Win football games. I think at the end of
But
the
he's
day,
done that.
He
and
won a
still-
Super Bowl.
Well,
There's other players on the team.
What are you going to do?
Absolutely. And to my point, to what Ben just talked about, he talked about 4 different offensive coordinators. Throughout all 4 of those offensive coordinators, the one thing Philly has continued to do is win football games. We gave Sam Darnold a ton of credit for being a Super Bowl champion, being the quarterback of the Seattle Seahawks, and making the right decisions in the plays when necessary. Although he wasn't a top 5 quarterback in the league, he had his team at the Super Bowl and won the game. Jalen Hurts continues to do that week after week. Can we criticize him for some of the things he can't do? Absolutely. We can challenge him to do those things, but we can't act as though he's the only reason.
I will say this. Jeremy Fowler puts together a list of the top 10 quarterbacks, and it's from 50 different decision makers around the league every summer. I am fascinated to see where Jalen Hurts comes in on the list this year. To college football we go, where Heather Dinich has been touring the great state of Indiana. Heather, let's start with the defending national champions. Yes, it feels a little weird saying that, but the Indiana Hoosiers are the defending national champions. You spoke to Coach Curt Cignetti this morning, and you are there now. It's so great having you on the show. What did Coach Sig tell you about reloading and getting a back-to-back championship run going?
Well, he said, we've got to do it again. But this team is very different from last year's. He reminded me they have 17 transfers, 19 mid-year enrollees. He said they're not just teaching scheme out there right now, they're teaching standards and expectations. And of course, one of those transfers is quarterback Josh Hoover from TCU. And Cignetti said, yeah, his 13 interceptions last year, that's a fact. But here's another fact. At TCU, they threw the ball 60% of the time. Here at Indiana, even with Fernando Mendoza, they ran it 60% of the time. So he expects there to be less pressure on Hoover to make as many of those throws.
I'm so fascinated to see how they look this year. You were at Notre Dame yesterday. What's the vibe there after controversial missing the playoffs in a stunning way last year?
Oh, they haven't forgot about it. Leonard Moore told me that they are on a revenge tour this year. And everyone that I've talked to on the player side of it, including quarterback C.J. Carr, is not hiding from the fact that they've got Miami at home in November. They've got it circled. But their head coach, Marcus Freeman, smirked and said, now, wait a minute, if we get too worried about beating Miami in November, we're going to lose to Wisconsin at home in the season opener. But there's this balanced fine line there between keeping the pain, as they say, and leaving no doubt in that selection committee meeting room that they're one of the top 12 teams. And Peter, remember, this year, if Notre Dame finishes ranked in the committee's top 12 on selection day, they are guaranteed a spot in that 12-team field.